Hit the record button. Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited. Thank you all for saying yes to your journey of creating, filling, and leading your successful retreats. And as I mentioned earlier, I've been dreaming of this day for a very long time, and it's really fun that it's actually happening. So thank you all. Yeah, thank you for saying yes. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to unmute or mute everybody. That way we don't have any distractions during the call. But I would love to, before we dive into the content that I have prepared for us today, I'd love for people to share with us what your retreat vision is at this moment, and whether you've ever planned a retreat or this is your very first one. So share with us your name, where you're from, where you're at in this world right now, and your retreat vision. So if you want to share, since I can see everybody, you can just wave your hand at me, or in Zoom, if you don't know Zoom, if you scroll down, move your little cursor down to the bottom, click on Manage Participants, then you can raise your hand. There's a little button on the right that'll pop up at the bottom that will let you raise your hand. So, who would like to kick us off? Catherine raised her hand. All right, yay. Let me unmute you. Go for it.
Hi, I'm Catherine Carpenter, coming to you from almost sunny Ventura Beach for the next 2 days till I go home back to New Jersey, where it's, like 30 degrees, but it's only 50 here. Anyhow, I'm here visiting my daughter and her boyfriend, who are on this West Coast for another 3 months till they move to their next post. And my vision for my retreats is to lead life-changing, co-creational, sacred ceremony retreats for healing and connecting to your light within, and learning to live your life in balance, and helping to bring balance of the masculine and the feminine, and to manifest that on the planet in this timing. So I feel the balance in most things, and that's my vision, is to create that balance and bring it in for others. And that's pretty much it. I've kind of made a commitment to do my first live by the end of June. And I have some pretty precious coaches who are pressing me forward. It'll probably be small. I can't envision it being more than 10 to 12 people, because it'll be my first step out into this by myself. I've done this kind of thing before, but with others, and I've never done it alone. So it's kind of wonderful to be in this program with Anne, who's done this many, many times. I'm going to learn a lot. So I'm grateful to you, my dear.
Absolutely beautiful, Catherine. I'm honored to support you, and I'm excited to see what you create. Yay. All right, who else would like to share?
Oh, and may I say one more thing?
Yes, of course.
Because once my daughter and her boyfriend get here to the house, then we're going to be heading out. So I'm going to say goodbye now so I don't interrupt anyone, but I'll stay on as long as I can.
All right, perfect. And that reminds me that this will all be recorded, so that as soon as we're done today, I'll upload it and send you all a link so that you can access it at any time. All right, who would like to go next? Let's see. Yes, I just have Catherine's. Anne raised. Okay, Anne, I'm going to unmute you. Go for it, Anne.
Hi. Well, my background is in human resources, so I've done a lot of events over the years. I retired this past year, and I've always thought it would be nice to run an event. I have a friend who does meditations. She does healing things. She does all kinds of things. So I really thought, and I have another friend that has a place that would be a good place for a retreat. I guess I see my role as more the administrators, the facilitator, because that's always been my role in my jobs, doing the administrative and the facilitative of the process even more so than actually doing the retreat. So that's kind of why I wanted to learn more about it.
Fabulous. And where in the world are you?
I'm near Houston.
Okay, fabulous. That's great. And you know, people, there's so many people that are visionaries that have a message to teach. And those of us who are in that role need people like you that
Right.
can handle and help us organize, because many of the creatives are not so good at keeping
Right.
all the details. So
Well, like my friend that she's talked about doing the retreats all of, for years in Sedona, and she'd like to do this and that. I said, well, I'll help you do that and help organize it, because I know that's not her thing. She has it. So I thought, it is a skill I think I could help with, and make things happen, and not necessarily be the person doing the sessions.
Yep. I love it. That's perfect. Yay. Thank you for sharing. All right, who else would like to share? Orit, yes, let me unmute you. All right, go for it. Hey, good to see you guys.
Hi, everybody. Good to see everybody. Well, where do I start? So let's see. Ethan and I are on a 500-acre ranch in the middle of Sonoma County. And can everybody hear us?
You're kind of fading in and out. I don't know how strong your signal is. You want to try closing your video, turning your video off so we just hear you? That might save some bandwidth.
Sure.
Try that.
How's that? Can you guys hear us clearly now?
Much better, yes.
Okay. So basically what I was saying is that Ethan and I are blessed enough to live on a 500-acre ranch in Sonoma County, Northern California. We are in a destination location, and we live in a place that is just, it's magic. And we have some beautiful redwoods on the land. And in these redwoods, there are no EMFs. It's a complete vortex area. And we are going to be sharing that with the rest of the world. And I was talking to Anne actually at a workshop that we recently did called Releasing What Weighs You Down with JJ Flazanes, and it was awesome. And we were just talking, and I said, we have this land and we really want to run some retreats, but I don't know how. And Anne says, well, there's this thing that I'm doing. And so that's why we're here. And Ethan, do you have some things to add?
Yeah, I mean, Orit and I have been married for about 14 years, and our journey together has been pretty magical and pretty full of opportunities to learn and grow. And so we've both pushed each other a lot to continue our growth. And we've discovered that this area has such a great centralized force for healing in general, that we've just kind of been looking for the modality that would be useful. And my wife came across some scientific studies about earthing or grounding. And, for those of you that don't know, that's a practice of utilizing the Earth's natural magnetic forces to sort of help free our bodies from free radicals and negative floating ions. There's a ton of really solid science behind it. It sort of helps us master inflammation, which is one of the hugest issues that our medical body is facing, not especially in America, but all over the whole world. So creating an opportunity for people to do some digital detox, to have a moment to reconnect with the earth on a physical level and on a spiritual level. And we want to provide that for our community, both at large and locally.
Fabulous. How exciting. I look forward to visiting your magical spot one day. I love the redwoods, and I love the whole concept of just getting back to nature and reconnecting to the earth. So fabulous. Yay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So, and Rick raised his hand. Let me unmute. Hey, Rick.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good, good. So I live in Minnesota. I'm in St. Paul today, and I have been in the kind of coaching industry in one way or another for probably 30 years as an athlete, as a coach of athletes. Then I got into personal development on a big, grand way. Started working with Jack Canfield, and I got into neuroscience, and then I got into leadership. So now I want to do 2 retreats, at least 2. One, to help people who think that it would be impossible for them to live a life of their dreams. Teach them how to break out of that paradigm, how to get into some neuroscience and undo some old beliefs and old values so that they can enjoy more wealth, freedom, and fun in their lives. And then I want to do another retreat that really focuses on helping people develop better leadership skills and break out of another old paradigm where I'm the boss, I have the position, or I have the title, you got to do what I say do, or else, because that doesn't work anymore. It never did work so good, but it sure doesn't work in today's world.
Right.
And so there's a much better leadership paradigm and much better ways that you can actually lead people as a servant leader and serve them and inspire them in a way that they will be more than happy to do the things that are good for everybody. So that's my deal.
I love it. I love it. And I think that's fabulous. And I love bringing more fun and freedom and of course, opening people up to abundance is fabulous. And I agree that there definitely is a whole new way of leadership that's starting to be birthed on the earth. So good for you for taking that on.
Thank you.
That's great. All right. And who else would like to share? Layla. Go for it, Layla.
Hello, I'm currently sitting in San Diego in California, but I just moved to Santa Cruz. So I love the Redwoods. I love you all up in Sonoma. Maybe I could do a retreat at your place. Bring some of my people to your spot. I have been in the healing arts for really all my life, doing body work and intuitive healing and other kinds of mentoring and spiritual mentoring. And my focus right now is moving toward women's work and women's womb wellness of the womb. So really supporting women around being conscious of the potency of the portal that we carry as having wombs and the power of our menstrual blood and pregnancy and mothering. And so the retreats that I want to lead are retreats around conscious baby making and conscious family making, and really encouraging people to realize how powerful it is to be born. I work with people with helping repattern their birth and some of the things that get embedded in our nervous system in those first, particularly first 2 years of life. And what happens right at our birth can have tremendous impact, not just attachment style, but just in our own awareness of ourselves. So I want to hold retreats for people that want to get pregnant and people that already are pregnant to help them look at things like what happened at their own birth, what are some of their ideas around parenting, really help prepare people spiritually and prepare their psyche for the rite of passage of giving birth and becoming particularly new parents, but parents again and again. The rate of divorce and single parenting is just astronomical. And I think we can put some skills on the front end of getting pregnant that can really help families have more longevity and health and well-being on all levels.
Beautiful, really powerful work. I'm honored to support you in that, and I can see that holding a retreat with the Redwoods and with the Earth would be really magical with all of that content. Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for sharing. Welcome. All right, who else would like to go? John, I'm going to unmute you. Go for it, John.
Okay, so hi, I'm John originally from the UK. I've been living in Germany for the past 28 years. And Anne and Catherine know me from another course that we did from Visionary Business Mastery. And one of the things that's very important to me, I've quite a lot of experience in the corporate world, and I think particularly men. It's interesting hearing you talk about leadership. I think particularly men aren't making their contribution to a better world. I think there are a lot of stereotypes. There's a lot of things they get into a kind of a straitjacket type of role. And I have one thing that I would like to do, a concept which the working title is Men's Reboot Camp. This is really, for me, about getting particularly men to come back to themselves, to rediscover their visions, to rediscover actually who they're supposed to be on this earth, and not who they've become, where they're often very unhappy, where they're often suffering from stress, going towards burnout, etc., etc. So really taking them, and this would be an idea for a retreat, to take them and actually let them rediscover themselves and to kind of bond with each other and realize it's a safe place and there's no shame in kind of reprogramming how they live their lives. I think another thing that I would like to do, because I see so much of it as well, and again, this would be an area for a retreat within a kind of a corporate setting. There's a lot of business owners or entrepreneurs or small business owners who, and that's men and women, who are suffering. Again, they're suffering from the day job. There's far too much stress in their lives. There's far too much pressure. And one thing they're not doing is they're not running their businesses in any kind of strategic way anymore. They're not thinking ahead. They're not thinking what the end game is. They're literally just managing their businesses from day to day. And again, I want to help them take a step back from that and say, okay, what's actually really important to me? What's really important to my relationship with my employees, with my family? What I'm actually really trying to achieve with the business I've started? So those are two kind of related but nevertheless distinct groups that I would like to make retreatable.
Nice, that's a good word, retreatable. That's great. And you and I have talked about this a few times before, and I just love it. And I think that bringing that whole new way of thinking, and that it's okay for men to get out of the box that they've been put in for so long. So right. Fabulous. All right, who's next? All right, Bonnie, let me unmute you. Hi.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Well, I am super excited to get in the water with dolphins again. And
yay!
Who is the more perfect person than you to teach me about that? I really my journey's really been in the healing arts also. Mm-hmm. Started probably 20 years ago. And then, just got busy with family, and kids are mostly raised now, so it's time to really dive in. I have been I have done a retreat before, but it was more bringing people to somebody else who does retreat. So it would be more like I would bring people to you kind of thing. So that's, I've done that once before, a long time ago, which was great. But I'm at a place now where that would be lovely. And I also have my own content. What I really envision is to bring the people together who are called to just connect with the dolphins and their message. And really, a lot of what I want to do is bring people back to a place of remembering the joy of being a child. Like, just bring them back to their inner child and remember how to play. Just take the seriousness out of people's lives and help them to, just reconnect with that part of themselves that just wants to sing and dance and play through life. So that's sort of the theme of, and that's funny, as I'm listening to everybody else, I'm like, oh, that's amazing. That's a great idea. So I am just loving this. Hearing everybody's ideas, it's fun.
It is fun, and yes, obviously I can relate completely to what your theme and vision is, because that's what I've been doing for a long time. And yeah, just spending time with dolphins just naturally brings people into that joyful, playful, childlike state that so many adults have forgotten how to do. So that's very, very needed. So absolutely, yay, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, who else would like, and of course it's not required that you share, but yes, okay, Dee, I'm gonna unmute you, go for it. Hi.
Hi everyone. So my name is Darlene, my nickname is Dee. I live in New Hampshire and it's very white outside. We have lots of snow. And I am thinking about taking my interest and somehow marinating lots of ideas and then finally coming to what my retreat will be. So I have a great open mind and willing to explore lots of possibilities. My background has been doing massage therapy and teaching yoga and teaching meditation. And recently, well, last year, started to do life coaching. So as I'm getting more oriented to coaching, I like to let go of the massage and bring together somehow yoga, meditation, my other passion, art, with coaching. So anything in that realm seems to be what I'm drawn to right now.
Nice, that's great. And just so we all know, do you prefer Dee or Darlene?
Dee is fine.
Okay.
Just so you know, you'll see both of my names out there.
Perfect, great. Thanks for sharing, I love it.
Thank you.
And bringing art into a retreat can be a really fun activity to get people to really process and get creative and let emotions out. It's great, really great. All right, who else? Anybody else like to go? All right, Regan. Hi.
Hey everybody, hi, my name's Regan. I'm actually calling in from Vancouver, Canada.
Yay.
Am I the only Canadian?
I think you are, but we love Canadians. I went to school in Bellingham, so I was like, almost there.
Cool, yeah, I'm super excited to be here. I am a fitness and health coach, and I've been working in the industry for about 9 years now. Working predominantly in the gym environment, but really feeling over the past few years that that's not where my heart lies, is in that specific environment. I'm looking to fuse my love of the ocean, of lakes, of being by the water, adventures, traveling, and living a healthy, vibrant life, and fusing those all together. And offering retreats. And I have been on several retreats over the past 10 years, and they have been absolutely transformational experiences. And I want to give other women that same opportunity, because every time I've left those trips, I've felt like I've learned so much about myself and experienced so much in life. So I think my overall kind of vision is to help people rediscover their zest for life. I feel like so many of us are just kind of going through the motions day to day, and we're feeling overwhelmed, we're feeling unfulfilled, we're feeling stuck, we're kind of just surviving, but we don't feel like we're really thriving, we're not in love with our lives. So I really want to offer women just the opportunity to step away from the demands of their daily lives and give them an opportunity to experience adventures, to have time for self-reflection. We have so much inner wisdom, but we don't have the opportunities often in our daily lives to really tap into that. So connecting people with the ocean, connecting people with their intuition and their deeper selves, offering people unforgettable experiences, and then giving back to nature is a huge component to me as well, because I I love the environment, and I'm concerned about its overall sustainable. I'm concerned about the environment, so somehow incorporating some type of event where we as a group give back to the environment that we're in, like a beach cleanup or something like that.
Beautiful. I love that. And that's great. And just in your neck of the woods, I grew up in Olympia, Washington, boating in the islands up in both BC and Washington. So there's so many amazing retreat spaces in the islands and near the water and in the forest up there. So absolutely, it's a really great place, and I love your mission. So beautiful.
Yay! I just moved here, so I'm 2 years ago, so I still have lots to explore.
All right. Oh, you'll love it. You'll have so much fun exploring. Yay. All right. And okay, I see Mary Newman raised her hand, so we'll go to Mary. Hey, Mary.
Hi. Sorry I was late. I was looking for my cord for my laptop.
No worries.
I decided to take a leap of faith and put my hand up. I don't usually volunteer, but I'm a retired educator, taught for almost 30 years, and I'm also an animal communicator. I work with animals, and I'm an intuitive and medium. I've done a lot of healing modalities. I'm a Reiki master. I've done EFT. I've done Psych K, all kinds of things. But it's like the other woman was saying, it's time for me. My kids are grown. They've moved on. And I've been to Hawaii many times. I've swam with the dolphins in Bimini, and I've swam with the dolphins in Hawaii too. And then we went to Tonga one time with Celeste Eaton and swam with the whales in Tonga, which was pretty incredible. But so I love listening to everybody else. I'm not really sure where I'm going with my retreat. I just know that there's so many needy people out there that just seem so lost. They don't know, where they are as far as trying to find themselves. And somehow I want to be able to connect with those women and men too, and just help them kind of find who they are and bring joy back in their lives, and maybe possibly a connection somehow with the whales or the dolphins or both, or maybe just going to Hawaii and just resting and rejuvenating. I'm not really too sure where this is going yet, but I love listening to everybody else. So thank you everyone so much. And thank you to Anne.
You are so welcome, Mary, and good for you for raising your hand when it's not in your comfort zone. And that's actually a really good first step to leading your own retreat. So awesome. Way to go. All right. And Sue, did I see you waving at me?
You did. First of all, I might have to go at any point here too, so I want to say it was nice meeting everybody, and if I have to leave early, I apologize. I'm Sue Barrett. I'm in Tucson, Arizona, and I am from New Hampshire. I lived in Olympia, so see, it's a small world. I've been to Bimini, I've been to Hawaii, so it's like we're all connected on some level. This is a big step for me because I never felt I'd be at this point of even trying to be doing anything with a retreat. Thanks to Anne and her wisdom and encouragement. A year ago, was it not quite even a year ago, when I went with Anne to Bimini, and I said, I want to be able to do that someday. Never thought that I'd be taking that step today. Being in Arizona, though, to bring the dolphins into the desert is an awesome idea. But this morning I got the hit of utilizing the ancestors of the canyons to be able to bring people into that innate wisdom that is within, as to let go of the bondage that we've, as many people have said, it's just being said in a different way, the bondage, the contracts of the life that we live now, and just know within, and being able to anchor that, claim it, and be able to just go forth with that information. So the ancient wisdom of the ancestors that's within each of us, and to awaken that. So I don't know how, where, or what, but that came to me this morning. So.
I love it. That's really exciting. And I love that I love watching you blossom and step into your true self and power, and that you're getting these incredible insights. So yay, good for you.
So thank you.
Yeah.
So I feel like, who was it, Mary? That I don't usually step forward either. So Thank you for being the inspiration for me to raise my hand too.
You are
Thank you,
great.
everybody.
Yeah, you bet. Great to have you. All right, and we have Olivia. Go for it.
Well, I feel that I have really joined a family here, because all those terms that you guys have been using, you know, zest for life and joy and grounding and nature, that's what I'm all about. I take stressed out professionals out of their office and out of their head and get them back into their body, their heart, and their senses, and into nature, and to reignite the drive for what they do, to reconnect to the legacy of who they truly are, and to reboot their zest for life. And I do that in the very first www that ever existed, the wood wide world. I take them into the forest.
Nice. I love that. I love that. And I love that you're taking people out to be with nature, because that it's just healing. Even if you don't even facilitate anything, just sending people out for a walk just in silence is amazing. So yay, good for you. It's great to have you here. All right, and there was one on the chat. From somebody who said, it said office, but I don't see them anymore. But I think we got everybody, didn't we? Yeah, I think so. Yay. I love that we have a small enough group that we can interact like this and everybody get to know each other. And I also want to say that we do have, for those of you who, a number of you have already joined. Those of you who haven't, we do have a private Facebook group where we can continue these discussions, explore these connections, support each other along the way. And that is the, oops, I don't get to do that. It is the Dream Retreat Success Leaders group. And I have sent you a link to it. Actually, what I can do is I can just post a little link into our chat right now. And there it is. So if you haven't joined in there, go ahead and jump on in so that we can continue the conversations, getting to know each other, support each other, and build this community. And I want to say also that listening to each of you and your vision, it really, I was just blown away. I just got this deep wave of emotion and awe for the huge visions that each of you have, and that the potential for healing the entire world through each of you, through me supporting each of you, to spread out to all of your future retreat participants is just such a beautiful thing. And so thank you for saying yes. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to let you work your magic in the world. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I have a slide presentation for you. We're going to go through this, and I will be giving out some homework for you, and I will have, yes, John, you got homework. It's fun stuff. And I will send out, I'll put a link later in the chat, and I'll send out a link by email to everybody where you can access and download the homework, as well as copies of all the slides here. And Bonnie wants to create a group energetic vortex for everyone's success. And yes, you are reading my mind, Bonnie, because that is in the plan. We're going to get there. So yes, absolutely. All right, so let me just hit the share button here. And there is our retreat. Here's our Facebook page, and a couple of you have asked to join, so great. And I'll get to approving those in a second. And all right, so first thing is welcome everybody. It's great to have you all here. Welcome to your future Welcome to creating, filling, and leading your own successful and profitable retreats. So as I was, just the other night, as I was starting to put together the content for this program, I was laying in bed, and as I always do, connect with the dolphins and whales, and this is the image that popped into my mind. And it was me as this giant humpback whale, chest heart out to all of you, and you notice there's the white spot is in the form of a heart there. And with his pectoral fins, her pectoral fins out, just welcoming each and every one of you with this whale-sized heart of love and appreciation for each and every one of you. So just feel yourself being hugged by a whale. And that I am committed to supporting you every step of the way to successfully holding your dream retreats. So you should all have gotten the email, a little bit of logistics first. You should have all gotten the email with a link to, with all the dates listed out, as well as there's a link in there to add, if you use the Google Calendar system, you can add all of these dates automatically to your Google Calendar. So to make it super, super simple. And I'll follow up with an email today when I send out the link for this recording so that you can, again, check that out. So you can see we've got all of our class modules like today on Mondays. And then for the most part, most of our guest speakers will be on Wednesdays, all at the same time period, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern US times. And because, as you know, what I do is I lead my own retreats. So there's a break that we're going to have from the regular class schedule, February 25th through 28th, because I will be in Hawaii leading a retreat. But what that means is I'm not going to completely ignore you when I'll give you some homework to work on that week, but also I'm going to be doing Facebook Lives in our private Facebook group about my retreat, letting you know how it's going, letting you know behind the scenes peeks, what's working, what's not working, all of that stuff. So you can, and breakthroughs, and I'm still learning because I love, life is a journey and we're always learning and always improving. So I'm going to give you updates the whole time. So then March, we get in after the My Hawaii retreat. We have 2 more weeks of regular scheduled classes and meetings. And then I have my Mexico gray whale retreat happening. So the 18th through the 23rd, I will be on that retreat. So again, as I have signal, there'll be 3 of the days in there that I will not have signal, being out at this eco camp, but I am actually in Mexico from the 15th through the 22nd. So when I do have signal, I will do Facebook Lives and posts so that you can see how my retreat is going there. And then our final sessions will be in the 1st and the 8th of April classes, and then our guest speaker spots, and Olivia will be on the 10th of April. And then, as you've seen, you all get a free bonus ticket to my retreat creation play shop. It'll be 3 days, the 26th through 28th. And I'm thinking I'm nailing it down. It's probably going to be in the Laguna Beach, California area. So, and we're going to, of course, spend time out on the water with the dolphins and whales and play together, as well as just get down and play and create your retreat so that you leave ready to announce it to the world. And this is the full list that you got. You don't need to take time reading it all now, but these are all the dates and all set up, and of all the and the titles of all the meetings that we'll have. And again, you can download these slides at any time. All right, so my little thing is in the way. So let's put your full attention on creating the retreat of your dreams. Put away your phones, close social media, your browsers, anything else, so that you can focus completely on what we're here to learn today. So again, the Creation Play Shop, Retreat Creation Play Shop, this was taken at an event I went to that I organized, a whale watching tour, and we had an amazing day, and you can actually see a sea lion back behind the boat there. And so we'll probably go out with this same company. They're really cool people and awesome luck in finding the dolphins and whales. I've been out with them a number of times. All right, so let's dive in. Module 1, setting your vision and retreat goals. So I'd like to start us all out by doing a visualization. I'd like to lead us all, as Bonnie suggested, creating a vortex for everyone's success. So if you're not used to meditating, that's not a problem. All you have to do is just follow my voice and just see what pops into your mind. So if you are comfortable closing your eyes, taking a few deep cleansing breaths. And I see us all gathered in this circle. This circle of support, of love, of honor and respect, where each one of us in this community sees the best in every other person and honors them. And what I'm seeing is it's actually each one of us steps into the center of our circle. So imagine yourself in the center of this circle and feeling the love and the honor and the belief in you from each and every one of us gathered today and on the recording. See yourself being truly supported, knowing that when you are faltering or feeling unsure, that the group energy just supports you and lifts you back up into a space of confidence and joy and being unstoppable at creating your vision. And now let's pull back into the circle. And I want you to see yourself now on your dream retreat. You are there. You are living it. It might be the first day, it might be the last, or somewhere in the middle. See your retreat participants with you. See their joy and their excitement. See the huge difference from the moment they first arrived to when they're leaving the retreat. They look like completely different people. They're relaxed. They're on purpose, ready to go back to their lives, taking everything that you've taught and inspired in them back to their lives. feel the deep sense of satisfaction for having led these people exactly to the results that they wanted. Feel their gratitude for everything you've given them. See yourself in your final sharing circle of your retreat. And look around the circle and see the faces of each and every person on your retreat. See their smiles. See how they have this deep sense of peace, inspired to make changes and shifts in their lives because of you. Feel this overwhelming sense of accomplishment. And look back at how joyful and easy the retreat was. How it just flowed along because you did all your homework. You set everything up perfectly. Even when there were a few little glitches along the way, you just smoothly sailed through them. And now look around and see, where in the world are you? Look at your surroundings. Are you in the mountains? In a beautiful luxury hotel? In a lodge? So maybe in the desert? Near the ocean, on a beach? Where are you? Now look at the building you're in. A hotel, retreat center, you rented a big home. What does it look like? Even imagine how many rooms it has, how it's furnished. Just really put yourself there. See down to the smallest details. Now come back to the faces of each and every person there. And now they're saying their final goodbyes to you, and each and every one of you gives you this beautiful, deep, honoring hug. And as you're waving goodbye to the last of your retreat participants, just feel the emotion inside of you of having completed this dream and having it gone so well. It was an overwhelming success. And now bring that back to the present moment and know that this is your future. This is your destiny. All right, everybody. Come on back. Give your body some gentle touch. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Some deep breaths and come on back to the room. And now that you have that very clear vision and have the feeling of what it takes, what it's going to be like actually leading your retreat, let's make it happen. So, number one is setting the goal for your retreat. Choosing the vision and the theme of your retreat? This is when it's fun. This is the dreaming part. This is where we just get to jump into that vision. You can go back to it anytime and really just play with a vision and theme. And we want to identify your ideal retreat participant. Who are these people that are coming on your retreat? Who are the people that you will be attracting, who need your gifts the most? And it's time to learn, what is the result? What are your ideal clients searching for? What can you give them that will solve a top of mind problem they have? And what does your client, what does their dream retreat look like? Is it the same as yours? How do they envision being on their dream retreat? All right, so setting the goal for your retreat, what is the vision you have in mind for your dream retreat? Could be any one of these pictures, a yoga retreat in Costa Rica or Bali. It could be a magical spiritual retreat in Sedona or in the desert somewhere. It could be working with horses somewhere in the mountains in Montana. Or it could be swimming with dolphins in Hawaii or somewhere else in the world. And just to give you a timeline, this is what you want to start doing 9 to 12 months before the retreat happens. This is the beginning phase. You want to start, in a perfect world, planning your retreat about 9 to 12 months out. So you have plenty of time to execute, create, line up all the logistics, and market and promote to your ideal participants. So what is the big picture you are holding for your retreat? So is it a yoga retreat, healthy eating, weight loss, detox or fasting, grief recovery, meditation, a couples retreats for improving relationships and increasing intimacy, families, again, improving relationships with families, could be corporate leadership or team building, could be a writer's retreat, helping people get going, writing their novels, their biography, poetry, even screenplays. Could be reconnecting with nature, as many of you have, animal communication. Could be spiritual or a church function, a church retreat. Recovering that spiritual connection. Self-empowerment, helping people step into their own purpose, reconnecting to their own self, their own spirit. And so many more. This is just a list to get you thinking, but the list is endless. What could be the theme for your retreat? All right, so who is your ideal retreat participant? Who is it that you work with? Who needs your gifts the most? Is it couples? Is it mature women? Is it men? Is it families with children that are facing challenges?
Is this the jump in part?
Hey, you. Hi, Gary. Great to have you.
Totally blocked it as 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm in Central Standard Time. Duh.
Great to have you. And I'm recording the whole thing, so you can watch the beginning all over again.
All right. And so while I've got you, and hello everybody, I'm in Mexico. I'm normally in Toronto, and I'm the creator of the Free Time Boot Camp for Entrepreneurs. So my target market are busy, successful entrepreneurs that don't have enough free time. So I'm joining the program to create that retreat. And if you look at the picture, I think the one I most resonated with was the people snorkeling in the water. And the location that I had in mind, because I came in on the visualization, was, as Ann knows, Hawaii. And I'd like her to be there to do the dolphin and the whale work with my people.
I look forward to that and learning from you about creating more free time. That's fabulous. Thanks, Gary. All right. So, who is the perfect person to come on your retreat? Are they male or female? Or does it matter? Does gender matter? What is their age range? Are they 20-somethings? Are they 50 and above? Are they, 40 to 65? What are they? What is their general profession? Are they healers? Are they corporate types? What are they retired? What challenges in life are they facing? Are they dealing with that you can solve, that you can help them? Just as Gary mentioned, entrepreneurs who don't have any free time. What are their interests and activities? Do they love whales? Do they love animals? Do they want to go to spiritual temples around the world? What's their familial status? Single, married, divorced, widowed, partnership, whatever. Do they have children? What's their general income level? Because obviously when you're asking somebody to come on a retreat, you need people who have an income that they can travel. On my retreats, many of my individual ideal clients all hit all the categories except for the financial. A lot of times they struggle with not having enough money. They all say, I want to do it and I don't have the money. So income is important to consider. And now all of those things above are perfect for your ideal client. That could be also if you're doing individual coaching or you're a healer, all of those things are important. Now, for a retreat, there's also some other things we need to consider about taking people on a retreat. Because not always your ideal one-on-one client is, or your animal communication client, whoever, is going to be your ideal retreat participant. So do they have an interest in travel? And people in the US particularly are really bad about traveling. I think it's only like 32% of individuals in the United States actually have a passport. So it's pretty astonishing to those of us who do a lot of international travel, but it's true. So do they have a passport? Or are they willing to get one? Do they have a sense of adventure? Because anybody coming on a retreat has got to be game for stepping out of their comfort zone. You have to be a good sport because sometimes things happen. I've been on retreats where we got there and I had all these fun events planned and a hurricane came by and we had to totally shift gears. So they have to be willing to, but you have to step in and do something else, make something happen. But you have to have people who are willing to kind of go with the flow and be able to shift gears at a moment's notice and do so with a great attitude. And is this someone who you will enjoy spending a week with? Because they may hit all those other boxes, but if it's somebody that, let's face it, that is extremely needy, or is a challenge, or is a negative Nelly, and could bring down the whole energy of the group, because you have to think about the entire group, not just one person. Okay, I can deal with their negativity, but can the rest of the group? And are they going to bring down the energy of the group? So you have to think, you want somebody who's, on my retreats, my people that come individually usually end up being great friends. And so you want somebody that you could be friends with, that you would like to hang out with. All right, so some of you may recognize this picture. So I'm going to give you an example of who my ideal retreat participant is. Now, I've created this avatar, but it's not actually this person, but she has a lot of similarities, because this lovely woman has come on many of my retreats. So this is not this person's real name, but I made up a name for her. Her name is Mary. She's 52 years old. So when you come up with your ideal participant, you can get really specific. Doesn't mean they have to meet all of these exactly, but just so you in your mind have a person exactly in mind. She's an energy healer. She's not afraid to do her inner work. She is a spiritual seeker. She likes to meditate. She may go to yoga. She's happily single after her divorce. She has 2 grown children. She has a steady income with the travel fund. And you can actually put a mountain range in there too. She loves to travel. She has an adventurous spirit, loves to laugh, has a cat who is her best friend, and this is obviously really important for me, she loves whales and dolphins and being out in nature. So this is just an example of how specific you can get when you are identifying your ideal retreat participant. So the important thing to keep in mind is what you want your clients to take away with them from the retreat. What is your client's top of mind problem that you can solve? What is the result your client is searching for? What is it that's on their mind that's bugging them? And what can you teach them that will change their life forever? And I love this picture because this gal came on one of my retreats. It was a yoga with the whales retreat. It was really fun. And she came as a referral through a JV partner. I'd never met her before. She wasn't on my list. And she worked a corporate job. Just thought it would be fun to come on this retreat. She went back and was so inspired that she now has written 2 out of a series of inspirational preteen books that are really, really fun. So she really stepped into her own after coming on my retreat. And what skill or technique can you teach them? All right, so how do you find out what your clients want and need from you? Market research. You get to ask them. Gary, you know all about this. But it not only works for, and it's exactly how I built this course, by the way. I'm teaching you exactly what helped me put together in this course what you want. A number of you that are in this course helped me with my market research and gave me exactly what you wanted to learn. So market research is huge. So reach out to your ideal retreat clients and ask them, simply ask them, what do they want in a retreat? So an example, if I lead a retreat about walking through your fears, what activity could you learn that would help you triumph over any fear you may have? And this slide is all from my friend Christine, who will be joining us on some of these calls. Her dream, her vision was to use surfing, learning to surf for women 40, 50 plus to walk through their fears in life. And this was on her first retreat, everybody learning to surf. Not something that most 50 plus year old women in the North America learn. All right, so we're gonna teach you the 8 golden questions that were come up with by Iman Agaev, the Success Road Academy. And these are great questions because they really lead your person exactly where you want them. And I will have you can download all these slides, and I do have all of this in a document that you'll get the link, the download link, so you can work with this. So you don't have to feverishly write all these down. So when it comes to, and this is where you insert your topic. So for example, you could say, when it comes to leading to a retreat, learning about animal communication or reconnecting to nature, what are the biggest challenges you are facing? When it comes to reconnecting with nature, what are the biggest fears you are facing? When it comes to creating more free time in your schedule, what are the biggest frustrations you are facing? What do you want to learn more about? How to, again, insert your own topic. Now, this is fun. You ask them what their dream day would look like. And by doing that, then they really get into what their life would look like once they've mastered these skills that you can offer them. And what would you like to see in a retreat about having more free time in your life that you feel supported enough that you get the results you want? And then you actually ask them, you have them describe the retreat to a T. You can ask them how many days, you can ask them where they would like to go. You ask them, would you like to be in a hotel, in a retreat center, rent a home? You just can really fill in those details when you ask question number 6. And once they've described all of that, then you can ask them, how much would you actually pay for this retreat that they just described to you? And then if I decide to offer this retreat, would you like to be one of the first participants? Because they've just described exactly what they want, and you generally get a yes. And if you get a yes, then the follow-up question is, ask them if you can have a conversation in a few weeks so that you can show the retreat package and get their feedback on it. And then you can give them the details. So when you do these questions, it's really amazing how you'll find people actually talking themselves into coming on your retreat even before you offer it to them. And it's really important to not change around the wording too much. Keep it right on task. And if they're having trouble or they give you a nice little nugget that's clear and concise, you can say, when you're asking, what are your biggest challenges? Then you can say, well, what else? Is there anything else? Just really dive in deep. And it really takes only about 15, 20 minutes to do this. It doesn't take much time. You can do it on the phone, you could do it on Zoom like this, or in person. So you should interview about 8 to 20 of your ideal participants. And then compile all the data in one document. So, for example, you can do it in a spreadsheet or in a Word document where you list each question and then put everybody's answer to the same question. So all the challenge answers, all the fears answers, so that you can really see the similarities. So you're going to search for keywords. So if they keep using the word transformation, then that's a word you want to use in your promotion. Look for the commonalities. They will tell you exactly what they want from you. And there will be trends. It'll be really obvious. And then you can turn around and use those exact words when you are putting together your marketing and promotional materials for the retreat. And you will gain great insights in exactly how to create the retreat of their dreams. And you can design it so your retreat will be irresistible, and you get that instant yes, because they've already told you exactly what they want. And you're just going to turn around and offer it back to them. So the market research will give you great clarity to create the perfect retreat for your ideal participants. Not only will you be crystal clear on how to create your retreat, but what's fun is when your clients are going through this, they also gain clarity. I don't know how many times I've done this market research and people thank me at the end because it helped them gain clarity on what they're looking for. So just have fun with it, and before you know it, you'll be leading the retreat of your and their dreams. All right, so where are you going to find all these ideal retreat participants to survey? You could contact your current clients, ones that you think would be ideal, and sometimes you will be surprised. People you never thought of that are your current clients that you think, oh no, they'll never come on a retreat. Put it out there and you might be pleasantly surprised at who responds. You can ask your friends. You can ask your friends to see if they have any friends. Social media is perfect. Put a post on Facebook or whichever social media you use to ask people to contact you. When I was doing the market research to put this course together, I put a post on my personal Facebook page, not my business page, my personal one, and I was overwhelmed with the response. I had more people to interview than I had time for. So, and that one tells you that you're onto something when you get that overwhelming response just for the request. And of course, you put your topic in there, not just, hey, I'm doing some market research. I have some questions. Would you be willing? No, I have some market research about creating, for me, it was creating your dream retreat. And for you, it would be about learning animal communication on a retreat. Or whatever, reconnecting with nature on a retreat. You can use your email list. Send an email blast out to your list, no matter how big or small it is, asking for people to, and don't do it, make sure it's a personal time, whether you do it one-on-one on Zoom, over the phone, however, or meet for coffee somewhere. If you ask them to go set up a survey in SurveyMonkey, people are not as likely to do it, and you're not going to get as really deep answers. Anywhere your ideal retreat participants hang out, if you could put up a flyer that says, hey, I'm looking to create this awesome retreat, and I'd love to know if you would like to help me create it. What does your dream retreat look like? Could be yoga studios, metaphysical stores, pet stores, spiritual centers, sports clubs, what have you. Obviously, clear it with a store that you can put up that flyer, but you're not selling anything, so why not? So, setting the goal for your retreat. Let's go over. That's kind of again, this is what we've just learned and talked about today. This is a review, choosing the vision and theme of your retreat. We're going to identify our ideal retreat participant. We're going to learn what the result that your client is searching for. And what does your client's dream retreat actually look like? So your homework is, I have a workbook I've put together that asks many of the questions we've gone over in our module today. And I'm going to put the link in a few minutes into the chat, as well as I will send it out in an email to you later today. So fill out your Module 1 workbook. Do your market research. It's lots of fun. And have fun visioning your future retreat. All right, and so on Wednesday, our next meeting, we will have our first bonus speaker is Ariana Rollins. Some of you know her, and she's going to walk us through a process on eliminating limiting beliefs and manifesting your dreams. And she's going to do this with one of you. So if you would like to be in the hot seat or do this with her, now everybody will get benefit because we'll learn by watching her walk through with one person, but we can all use it on ourselves as we watch her do this. So if any of you would like to be in the hot seat, and I'll send it in the email as well, the follow-up email that goes out later today. Send it back and see if you can volunteer. We'll only have space for one. So I'm guessing the fairest way is the first person to email me gets to be in the hot seat and gets to actually work with Ariana in person. But we'll all get great benefits out of it. And I'm really looking forward to hearing her brilliance. And then our next module will be all about choosing our location, the venue at that location, what tours, if any, to include, what activities to include in our retreat. And that's going to be, there's going to be a lot of details on that one. So get ready. All right, everybody, we did it. Yay. So now thank you everyone. I'm here if anybody has any questions, any comments. So now it's just open line and I'm here for Q&A. So Dee, I'm gonna unmute you, yes.
Well, I have a question about having your ideal group. So if you find that you have someone that you don't think is a good fit for your group, how do you handle that? And how do you design that?
Yeah, it's a little tricky, and it's all about, obviously you want to spread it as far and wide as possible. One easy way to do that is to have an application.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask people to apply for the retreat rather than just say, here's the button, pay the money, right? So and that way you can hand select. If you feel, especially if you feel there's somebody who's on your list, who usually volunteers for everything, but is somebody you really wouldn't be right for the group, then I would put together an application, and then it sounds even more appealing, right? Because then there's a limiter. It's like, ooh, I hope I qualify. I hope I get in. And you don't have to say how you're selecting these people. And maybe everybody who applies is wonderful, and you let everybody in. but it's a way to filter out those who may not be the right fit.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Awesome. Just a logistical question. Since
Yes.
I missed the first part, when's the recording available?
As soon as I upload it later today, I'll send it out to you.
So I want to watch it before I do my course tomorrow, as you know.
That's right. That's right. Gary and I are on this journey together, this whole market research and creating our courses.
Let me tell you that if you're creating something, like Ann said, with that market research, I can't give that system enough credit. You literally take yourself out of creating it and let the people answer the questions. Don't lead them. Just ask it exactly the way Ann said. I've created my course, which starts tomorrow, Free Time Bootcamp for Entrepreneurs, totally based on interviewing 31 people. The one caution piece I would ask Ann about is, for me, I interviewed 31 people. I showed them my one-pager 2 weeks later. I've talked to 21 people, and I only had 3 paying participants. So you might also want to add in what's your expected conversion ratio, and you have to interview that many people so that you get what you want to get. So by that I mean, if you want to have 10 people in your class, but your conversion rate is 50%, you have to interview 20 people. But if your conversion rate's only 5%, you have to, do more. Right.
And yes, and so 2 things on that, Gary. Thank you for bringing that up. One is the vision for your retreat. What the market research will tell you is what they want. It may not be what the vision you have in your mind right now. It may be something different, and be flexible to go with that and to go the direction that everybody is telling you. If the overwhelming, say you want to do a yoga retreat in Alaska, but everybody says, no, I want to go to Maui. I don't want to go to Alaska, right? So it's too cold to do yoga there. So you follow what they want. Because if you try to sell that yoga retreat in Alaska, you're probably not going to get many people. But if everybody says, I want to do it in Hawaii, you're like, okay, going to Hawaii. So be willing to shift gears. And yes, on the questions, you have to be really specific. You just ask them the way they are, and you do not do any coaching as much as you're going to want to, because you want to be able to answer them. And support them. But no, it's all about listening. Just taking in exactly what they're telling you. And what Gary's talking about is you can use that strictly as your way to enroll people into your retreat. Once you've created this, done the market research and gotten all this information, you can then go right back to them and say, this is the retreat I've created. And you will, and then sell it, enroll them right then and there. What I did, but you could also, on top of that, I wouldn't rely 100% on that to enroll in. That's the first step. Then you do everything else that we're going to learn later in another module, all about marketing, promotion, enrolling people. So you use every avenue possible. That's one avenue. That's the beginning avenue. Then you use all that information you learn to create your website, to create any ads, to talk about it to people, to promote it. So yes, thank you, Gary. All right. Yeah, Dee.
I wonder, because I'd like to give people my full attention when I'm doing the survey, would people tend to be open to being recorded so that you can later just transcribe from your notes?
Yes, that's how Gary did it. I actually took notes, had a piece of paper and took notes. You can do whatever is easiest for you.
Really, really easy. So first of all, yes, ask them if you record it. 100% of the people said yes. Mm-hmm. Turn on your recording, use Zoom, it's free. Do visually, because that just rocks, honestly,
Yeah.
And then send it to a company called Temi.com, TEMI.com. They charge 10 cents a minute. And what I would do is at a certain point in the interview, I didn't need to have it being recording. I would shut off the recording and keep talking, so I wouldn't have to pay for that the extra 10 minutes of chat. So Temi.com. Now, it's not perfect. They don't put the speaker names in like Rev.com does, but it's 10 times cheaper than Rev.com. So there's 2 tips for you.
Thank you.
Can you put that in the chat for me, the link?
I'm on it.
Thank you, Gary. So yeah, so you absolutely just ask permission and let them know that this is just for your own personal research. It will never be shared anywhere.
Okay.
Right? Just
Thank
let
you.
them know that. Yeah, absolutely. All right, John, let me come over there. Hey, John.
Hi. Thank you. Lots of wisdom already, as I anticipated.
Yay.
A question: the lead time for doing that first retreat is, I suppose it's obvious, but it's like 6 to 9 months is a long way away, isn't it? I mean, is that because I mean, I know we're going to come on to this later in this course, but I guess one of the things is also not only just finding people for your retreat and, you know, writing the sort of the conceptual stuff, but it's also one of the things going through my mind, because I know you guys are talking about all these different parts of the States and Canada, which are great for retreats. And yes, that's one option, but being in Europe, I may also, you know, be looking at retreats closer to home, or at least on this continent. And one of the things is, where are they and what's their lead? You know, that's another thing, is what's their lead time in terms of availability? I mean, I know we'll come on to that, but I guess I know it's common sense what you're saying, but I was still slightly shocked about that kind of 6 to 9 months to plan a retreat.
Yeah, it is. And it's actually even 6 months is even a little short. Ideally, you want 9 to 12 months to plan it, because depending on your location, and in Europe, you've got all kinds of amazing locations. And there's, you know, all kinds of neat little homes and castles, and in the UK and in Europe.
We've got plenty of castles.
A castle would be awesome, you know, or I've heard of some amazing spaces, you know, little boutique hotels, you know, the south of France, Greek islands, you know, you've got Italy, you've got all kinds of amazing opportunities and places. There's actually a company called the Retreat Company, and it's in the UK. And I think, I'll see if I think it's, memory serves me, the Retreat Company. .com. So they're based in the UK, and they actually list retreat venues.
Oh, okay.
So because they're based in the UK, most of their venues are going to be on your side of the pond there.
Yep. Okay.
So yeah, so booking the hotel and the venue can sometimes take a long lead time. Like my Bimini retreats, I've already selected my dates for my 2020 retreat. So, because they get booked out so far in advance. Others, you can just pick up the phone and 3 months later, you've got the place. It really depends on their popularity and their how many rooms they've got, how many people they can accommodate. So it's the more you plan, and the biggest key is, besides locking down your location, is having enough time to promote the retreat and fill it. Now, if you have, and again, we'll get into all of this later in future modules, but if you have, you know, a huge list of 100,000 people on your email list, you could easily fill up a retreat in 3 months, piece of cake. But if you have just a few hundred or, you know, or less, it's going to take more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot more effort.
Okay.
All right.
And, you know, some just came to mind for me too, and that is like how, you know, if I think of my ideal client, and you have one, Anne, but, you know, it would be like saying to her, so how much time do you require to make plans for to attend a retreat, you know?
Yep.
And I'm thinking 9 to 12 months, that works perfectly for me because I want to sell people into my signature program, build an audience so that there's more than enough people in the first retreat. But you also gave me a great idea because John and Ann, you both know, oh my God, he's also from the UK. I just lost my mind. He's got a retreat center in Portugal, and I want to use that as Nuno. He was my client. I want to use that as a test for and just go there myself as a single participant and use this program to go help him. Yep. And that's the thing. And then I would have the experience of what would you call a volunteer retreat? I don't know if that's called an ECHO.
Like an intern intern.
Yeah, as that kind of giving, paying forward sort of thing, like contributing to the world, to humanity.
Yeah.
Because his retreat is for recovering gamblers.
Yeah. Right. Yes.
Right. And he needs help fixing this retreat in Portugal, and it's super cheap to stay there. They'll pay for the food. All we have to do is fly and stay at this B&B in the neighborhood. I'm like, wow, that rocks. Awesome. So,
yeah.
But thank you. That's lots of great ideas when you were asking that question, John.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it is. There's all kinds of, and spending time and doing an internship or volunteering at someone else's retreat or assisting them is a great way to learn the real ins and outs of it. Absolutely. All right. Laura Layla raised her hand. Yeah, hang on. Unmuting you. Hey.
Yeah, I think this is a great conversation, and I'm realizing as I'm thinking and listening that, I mean, particularly I live in California, so it is it is kind of a destination location, but also about urban retreats, thinking about for my clients, particularly parents, pregnant people, that are going to need a long time to plan a vacation, particularly to someplace more exotic. So, I mean, I just want to kind of put a voice in for that on the call about that there's lots of places that aren't that far that people can get to that might, be that you could do it sooner than a year rather.
Right.
And also start smaller, do some trial runs of groups or weekends and things like that, getting stuff fleshed out, content. And as you're doing I feel like for me with the market research, that's probably part of what I'll do. I'll be offering a circle for pregnant people. And then part of it will be like, hey, for anyone who can stay another 15 minutes, I'd like to ask you all these questions and write them down or field it and write it up on a whiteboard and get the whole group excited. Oh yeah, well, what if we all went on a retreat together, So anyway, just some ideas that are percolating.
I love it. And absolutely. And well, next module we'll get dive deep into location and all of that. But absolutely, urban retreats and local retreats are a great way to get in, and doing it just for a long weekend is a perfect way to get started. And scheduling, as Gary mentioned, you have to be aware of your client's schedule. Can they get away?
Yeah.
Do they have, they sometimes need to plan. If they're working a regular job, they may need 9 to 12 months to be able to schedule their vacation time, their time away from that. Yeah. Or, or if they've, got kids, they've got to plan childcare. There's, all you're dealing with. It's not just a coaching client who just has to meet with you once or twice a month, and you can work out the timing. That's easy.
Yeah.
But planning a specific date that they have to travel and get away, there's a lot more involved. And sometimes, I don't know how many times I've gotten people say, I really want to do your retreat, and the dates just don't work.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do
parents.
about
that. Like considering when do kids have off school and there's just so many factors. So this is great. I'm really appreciating everything you're sharing and the way you've thought it out, and looking forward to getting to know everyone else as well, and feeling great coherence in the group and exciting things that everyone's up to. So thank you.
You are so welcome. All right, John, I'm going to come to you. I've got Orit's hands up.
Nice.
Hey, Orit. Hi, Ethan.
Yo, so I just wanted to just briefly express our gratitude. I mean, the system that you're laying out here is really well thought out. I can feel your experience in it. I can sense your the path that you've walked, and now taking that and giving it to people that are starting on their own path. I think that is a phenomenal way to share your message and to help people facilitate healing on all kinds of different levels for all kinds of different people. And I just see what you're doing here. And I just wanted to express my gratitude. And I'm sure everybody else in the room is feeling that same way. And for the first, module, you've already begun to shift the way that I'm thinking about this. And I can feel how this methodology that you're putting forth breeds a lot of success, and how it's accessible not only to in this particular style of retreat, management or retreat creation, but how it can branch out into other things as well that we do in our lives. So I just wanted to say that you're awesome, and thank you so much for sharing this. And I'm genuinely looking forward to the remaining modules.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Ethan. I'm really honored. I'm really touched by your words. And I have put a lot of thought into this, and what's fun about this whole journey. Now I'm getting emotional. It's really, and this will happen for you too. What's amazing is by stepping into and creating this retreat and doing this market research and creating something so beautiful is that you see yourself stepping into a whole new you, right? And into a whole new, I always saw myself as a retreat leader that does the logistics. I never thought of myself as a coach or a transformational leader. And now I get it, thanks to you all. And it's just, what you also realize is how much you actually know that you can share with others. And when I first had this idea, I thought, well, yeah, I could teach that because I know how to do that. But I never sat down until I started creating the content and going through and making this gigantic outline. When I first put this outline together, it was like a 4-month-long program. It's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Because there's just so much material that I didn't know I knew. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yay. All right. Okay, John.
Yeah, it's a bit of a thinking out loud thing that I'm just putting it out there because I think I'm asking the question to myself as much as anything else. The experience that I've had so far, if I think of the other course that I know you from, was the retreats were kind of part of an ongoing online course. There were these weekly things, and then there were retreats at the middle and the end of that. So I'm thinking out loud as much as anything. Is my retreat a separate standalone thing, or is it the sort of the goodie at the end of an online course? Or something, something like that, and I don't have an answer to that now, but it's just got me thinking. To me, it was always just kind of like the goodie for those people who'd attended the online course who wanted to meet up and do more. But I'm actually thinking it doesn't have to be that way. It can actually be its own standalone thing, regardless of what other products I develop for these people. Because some people might just want and I guess that's why I have to do the market research, they might just want that full immersion, and other people don't have the resources or the time or whatever to do that. And they would want then the individual coaching or the kind of the online course or whatever. So I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that, but as I say, that's just sort of some thinking out loud that's been sort of triggered by this discussion.
Yeah, Gary, I'm going to come to you and let me make some comments and then I'll come to you. Yeah, great question, John. Thank you for asking. It can be all of the above. You get to decide. So it can be standalone retreats, and it can easily be built into a group course, a next step for one-on-one. It can be built into like a mastermind program. And so it can be all of the above. It all depends. And there are people who, like, I'm including in this one a 3-day play shop.
Yeah.
And that is the end of this course, but there may be some people who come to that who didn't attend this course.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
So it can be a standalone as well. And one thing you mentioned is in the program we were in together, what they call retreats and what I think of as a retreat is a little bit different. You know, I think of a retreat as like a destination experiential retreat where there's a really nice balance of receiving content,
yeah,
and group sharing and activities and free time that let you process everything. And then what we've been a part of in our course that we were in was more of what I call like a 3-day event, or more content delivery, but a little bit more experiential. But it was like almost zero time. Sometimes we had to like run and eat and come right back to the room. It's just all content, which is great, but it's not what I would term as a retreat. I think that the word retreat is used very loosely at times.
Okay, all right. That's also true.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point.
All right, Gary, what do you have to say about that?
You said it all. Ditto.
Okay, great. Oops, you muted yourself.
There's 3 days at the end of the program, and I'm doing a big ticket, and people can come to either one or the other or both.
Yeah.
So ditto.
Nice.
Okay. Fair point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Any other questions? All right. Okay. Then I'm going to send you all off. We went a long time today, but thank you for all your interest, for your gratitude, for paying attention. And I'll load this up right away and send it out, the recording, as well as the links to the homework. So,
okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We will see you on Wednesday.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Thanks, Ann.
Thank you.